Hello, Everpony! Since everyone and their mothers are talking about the new hunter, I decided I would throw my hat in the ring. The new hunter is a Cueist, meaning someone who plays pool. There are theories that suggest he may be a part of Gang 10 with Luca, Alva, and Anne due to his eyes matching with N plus Alva. There is a lot of matching imagery between the three hunters relating to the god they seem to follow. Obviously, these three have some sort of relation. So why the fuck does he look like that? Everyone knows about the twink death of IDV's hunters. I joined the game a few months after Alva's release beginnings of Twink Death, but I was there when Fool's Gold came out. Who is the one who got the conversation started? I was on the bandwagon of both loving and hating his design. I thought he was attractive and bought him when he released to Illusion Hall. I played for a bit, realized he wasn't for me, and promptly stopped playing him. He was not terribly overpowered and not underpowered, especially not now. It's certainly a challenge if you go against someone who knows him well, but it's still manageable if you understand his abilities. As more and more hunters get released, you'll notice they tend to follow a trend, at least visually. They're all super skinny. Okay, mine is Cherie, but in the past almost 3 years, only one of 7 hunters is not super skinny. Well, okay, they at least have very varied abilities, so it's totally fine. But it's not. It just creates a lot of samey-looking characters, and if you haven't noticed, the abilities are either busted or trash. I wasn't there for their release, but they're difficult to use, go against, and feel balanced. Busted. And then Peddler is really weak. Not attractive, so people don't want to play her. Fool's Gold used to be busted, but they fixed him really quickly, so he was not thrown into busted. I remember when Sangria and Ivy came out. Both of them split the community.
And I thought they were Yuri.
But it took months for Sangria to be nerfed, because it took until tournaments began being affected for netties to see how she was too. Fast movement and cooldowns. Ivy I don't fully remember because I believe I had stopped playing around this time, but the few times I was online, there was a consensus that you would never win against her. After Ivy was Goatman Cherie, and he is still considered extremely difficult to go against to this day, to the point that he is banned along with Hullabaloo in rank.
We will get to Hullabaloo later.
But in July, it will have been a year since Cherie's release, and he is still considered a massive threat and is a top ban. This can be chalked up to people not knowing how to play against him since he's not that popular of a pick. People also ban him a lot, so sightings are rare, but consider. Bitch came out in November, and he is still broken as shit. We are half a year out from his release, and he is top ban pick across the board. He is so fast and not good for the game's meta, both casual and competitive, but they won't fix him. For those who don't know why he's bad, let me break it down. He has no attack recovery ever, fast base movement speed. Spawn a clone that can hit you and said, clone can be moved to a new location. If your first pick was Cheeks, and speed jump over obstacles. In my opinion, giving him an attack recovery after landing a hit that actually inflicts damage, or even just after knocking down a survivor, would help immensely. I also don't think he needs the clone. I feel like speed should be his thing, and the clone just adds too much to manage for both survivors and hunters. Let's lead this back to the Cueist. Yeah, I bet you forgot. We were even talking about him. There are concerns that with his design, pulling so hard from the popular twink hunters of recent times, he may also be pulling from recent game design philosophies, i.e. too many abilities that are busted or useless. We obviously won't know his abilities for a while, but I personally hope it's a projectile thing with him hitting survivors with pool balls, sort of similar to Wax Artist, maybe, but we can fuck with his design at least. Here's a body edit I made just overall. thicker so he's less of a twink and more of a hunk of a man. Here's also a little more of a design edit. I'm not good at editing, sorry. People theorize he may be connected to the Hullabaloo storyline, but I think that's officially done. So no new characters from that story would be added. If there is a connection, I think it's just because some characters knew each other. But I don't think he was at Hullabaloo Circus. He still has that lion motif with the hair and tail, which I think looks low-key stupidly when he's a twink. Okay, as I'm editing this, there are people theorizing that Cherie and Cueist are connected because Cherie has ties to lions and Cueist has lion motifs. I think that's a better tie because we have a lot of characters who are gameless and have little to no connections with other characters. Okay, anyways, Cueist. We're talking about Cueist. So yeah, his design is a little cheeks. Like, he's a sexy twink and the design is that. But it just looks like Alva's head, Fool's Gold's body, with Hullabaloo's wig. I feel like there could be so much done different, especially with color schemes. So many recent hunters are dark colors for no reason. I'm not saying he should be hot pink, but maybe a dark green or something. Assuming he's aligned with the Eye of Darkness crew, I think his design should be more aligned with theirs. He's still darker colors, but more in line with their sleek designs with a single part of their body exposed and legs. Alva's arms. Going back to the previously proposed redesigns, the thicker limbs will just help him stand out against all the slim hunters. Even my plus-size queen, Clerk, has stick limbs. It's clear Identity V is running into design issues, both visually and gameplay-wise. Twinks pretty women do better and are more popular than characters like Cherie and Clerk, as well as simpler to learn characters. Sangria is easy to learn and sexy. She is popular. Peddler is complicated and old. She fell off immediately. I have literally never seen her in-game. It's like they are trying to one-up themselves with abilities with each new hunter, so that it's the next me to pick. I don't know if they realize, but most of the casual meta picks are older characters with simpler design philosophies. They seem to let competitive tournaments dictate nerfs and adjustments. Like I mentioned before, last Cueist Sangria was dominating and was basically the only hunter played. So they nerfed her and adjusted some rules to prevent something like that happen again. There's this nice post on Reddit from last month that actually graphed the hunter and survivor picks for this Koa. You may notice survivor picks are all older characters. Not a lot of more recent survivors are in the fray. Hunters, however, are dominated by recent additions. It's almost exclusively hunters released in the past year. And it's not like they aren't powerful. They are banned like crazy, and when they are played, their strength is apparent. Hunters are consistently amped up in their strength, while survivors are stretched far too thin. Meteorologist, for example, she has way too much going on. A containment, healing, and harassment ability in one is far too much, and the bottle doesn't have enough to do what might be necessary in a match. It's like an attempt is being made to provide survivors who can step toe-to-toe with the stronger hunters, but they are nerfed to the point of almost being useless. Like, meteorologists used to be able to slip between the walls of some maps, but that was patched out. I mean Hermit. Hermit can pass through whole buildings if you angle his second presence ability correctly. It takes skill to be able to do it correctly consistently, and I still fuck it up a lot of the time. Same with Wendy, you had to time it right and acutely measure how much you draw with your bottle. Also, it wasn't a guarantee. You would have enough bottle left to do it correctly if you had it at all. This is all just to say, Cueist is just another addition to a long string of hunters that have slowly going downhill in terms of quality. NetEase is trying to repeat a winning formula that was popular because it was different to what was expected from the hunters. Yes, many of them were attractive, but they had solid skills and tools that made them viable to be usable for both new and competitive players. They keep trying to one-up themselves with the skills being so unique and cool and powerful, and having very few counters. It's like a dude with a power complex trying to mate. Sure, everyone knows he isn't weak and prissy. It's like, girl, we crossed over with Sanrio. It's been over. I do hope I am proven wrong, though. I want Cueist to be fun for both sides, to play and to go against. I don't want him to be either cast aside or sit alongside Hullabaloo and Goatman as the overseers of the house that is rank mode. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This was originally intended as a 3-minute TikTok, but I am a chronic yapper. I want to do more videos like this, but I prefer to use my own voice rather than the computer one. But that may take a long time since I don't have any spaces to record without disturbing others. Anyways, like and subscribe and smash that like button.